All right, here we go. Taxstone, welcome back.
Vlad, beloved, how are you?
Cool, man. You've been making a lot of waves recently. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, I always wanted to be a surfer as a child, and I think now I've been exploring my prospects.
Yeah, man. You know, it's interesting. I was watching one of your other podcasts. I think it was No Jumper. And you were talking about how you don't really compete with other rap podcasts, but they kind of compete with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that corny. I mean, anyone who's competing with me is competing by themselves. I'm not competing with nobody.
Yeah, I'm not. I especially can't. It's almost like, having a song, number one hip hop R&B charts. You know what I mean? But you're not nowhere next to number one on the top 100. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would I be in competition with you when I'm in competition with them? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I think like the thing is that it doesn't matter if you interview the same person that I just interviewed. Your interview gonna be different. Your fan base gonna be different, and no matter what you do, you're not gonna take away my 1.4 million YouTube subscribers. You know, it took me a decade to.
You didn't have to throw the number at us like that, Vlad.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like I want everyone to do well. Me and you have always rocked together. Like, if you need to talk to someone I know, boom, here you go. If I ever hit you up, boom, here you go. Like, I never looked at you as competition. I don't think you looked at me as competition.
Nah, I don't look at nobody as competition, because where I'm from, when you competing with people, that means somebody trying to take you out. And I'm not personally trying to take nobody out, and I'm just hoping it ain't nobody trying to take me out.
Yeah, real talk. But, congratulations on your success, man.
Thank
you got
you,
some
man.
big interviews under your belt.
Thank you, man. I'm trying.
Well, most recently, you just showed this to me, and it's actually not out yet, but by the time this comes out, this is going to be out, is you actually got an interview with Meek Mill.
Indeed. So, definitely.
How did that come together? Because, you've been taking shots at Dreamchasers for a minute now. So the fact that you're doing this really surprises me.
Well, Shady Black, my boy Shady from Philly, OBH down with AR Ab and Dark Low, shout out to them. He was telling me that he was speaking to Tok. That's one of Meek Mill family members, and Tok, he was like, yo, Tok brought you up, and I told him, like, you don't got no beef with them, because I reached out to the Dreamchasers to tell them, like, I don't got no issues with y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no issues. I don't got no beef with y'all. So, if we was to, if anything was to happen between us, it's because y'all wanted it. It ain't because I wanted it. You know what I mean? So that was basically it. I was waving the white flag, because I don't got no beef with them. So, he told Tok, like, yo, when I speak to Tax, he be saying he don't got no beef with the Dreamchasers. Like, he don't got no malice in his heart or nothing, you know what I mean? So then he was like, yo, I'm gonna give Tok your number. And then Tok called me and we spoke, you know what I mean? We spoke for like almost probably an hour and a half, and we just kicked it. Because, when you really dudes this outside, or, you know what I mean, you've been in the street, you understand where certain issues could lead. So it's like only a conscious gentleman could afford to be a gangster and say, yo, it ain't even like that. You know what I mean? It ain't no problems. So that's basically what it was. And me and Tok be kicking it, you know what I mean? And next thing I know, I had got a call like, yo, you fly to Atlanta, do this Meek Mill interview. I was like, say no more. And it was just smooth. Went in there, spoke to him. He said I said what I said, and we did the interview. We got it going.
Okay, and you did it in the Wraith.
Yeah, we shot the whole interview in the Wraith. That's Meek Mill, real Meek Mill. And she was like, we shooting that in the Wraith. We gonna do the podcast in the Wraith. So I respected it, and we got it popping, and it's definitely a good one.
Right. He had a rollie on at the time he was doing the interview?
Yeah. I asked him about his rollie, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, man, you always rapping about your rollie. We said, what else I'm gonna rap about? He said, what else I'm gonna rap about? You know what I mean? He was like, the rollie, that's a staple in my neighborhood. When you got your Rolex, that means you succeed. You succeeded at something. And I understood it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always rocked Rolexes. So, yeah, it's definitely a mark of success. I could feel him on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought up the whole back-to-back thing with him.
Yeah.
And what was his response?
His response was he didn't take it that serious. He said he thought it was a good song. He was on tour, so that's why he didn't really respond to it. He was like he didn't really think it was that impactful. You know what I mean? And I guess he just kept seeing it grow, and he realized like, oh shit, like people really fucking with this record. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why he responded so late. Yo, we was waiting for you to Gatling gun the next day. You know what I mean? But he was like he wasn't taking it serious.
Yeah, I mean that record I think got nominated for a Grammy, didn't it?
Shit, it might have. I remember Complex, they had like some boat ride or some shit, and they played that song like 3 days after it came out, and like the boat literally was shaking. And it was like, you know, what he succeeded at was making a diss record, a hit record. You know what I mean? And I think that's what other people, you know, straight away from there just diss, and they just want to get the, you know, say the most craziest things and the most malice. And he threw a bridge in a diss record, and you know what I mean? And he succeeded with it.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying Back to Back is a top 5 diss record. I don't personally
It
feel that
is.
way, but I can see the argument for it.
It is like to hear a record in a party, you know what I mean, and to get, you know, to put certain things, and shout to all my boss, bitches, wife, and niggas, like that little part right there, that's something that everyone says in the club. Like when that beat dropped, like the DJ drops the whole beat and let the crowd say it, and he knew how to get that involved. And I think Drake always had that planned. I don't think it was just for Meek Mill. I think that was for anybody who ever played. Like he had that in the cut. He knew that he was gonna make a hit record, a diss record, a diss record, a hit record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to hand it to Drake. I mean, that was a big record, and it's kind of stood the test of time. Also, I mean, it's still rocking out there.
Indeed.
I mean, it is what it is. I think a lot of people, though, and you know, I've mentioned this in my comments. I think a lot of people are still rooting for Meek to really do his thing. Like, it wasn't one of these situations where it's like, you know, when 50 and Ja Rule first hit, like no one was really fucking with Ja Rule. It didn't matter what he put out, how hard the verse was or whatever. People weren't fucking with him. I mean, now people fucking with him again, but for a while people weren't fucking with him. But I didn't really get that effect from Meek.
Well, with Meek, you know, I feel like the comparison with Meek and Drake, like I feel like with Drake, the world has more soft people, have more, you know, compassionate, and I don't know, all the other soft words that you could find. And then you got the dudes that don't care about that, who are the street dudes or want to be street dudes, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of cops like the roughest hip hop, you know what I mean? That's why it's like, man, funny when they do violent shit. I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's so much, the majority of the world is soft, so they're gonna relate more with the Drake than the Meek Mill, because Meek Mill will seem like the predator, you know what I mean? When Meek was just actually like, yo, this dude getting his lyrics written for him, you know what I mean? People writing his raps, and you know, that's looked down upon in hip hop. But when he said that about Drake, it was like, fuck you, asshole, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you, we don't care, you know what I mean? It was like the first time that it was like brushed under the rug. And I think, you know, any other time, or you know what I mean, any other time in hip hop, that would have been like, woof, we either threw the blanket over Drake, coroner, you know what I mean? But I don't think people care. I know I don't even care. You know I don't. I just like the shit. I'd be like, damn, that was some hard shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, did you bring up the whole Quentin Miller thing with him?
Damn, I don't know if we did on video. We might have. I'm not sure because I didn't listen to the interview yet. But yeah, we did speak about it, but I don't know if it was on tape or off.
Okay, can you talk about what he said?
He just was like, you know, it was never him, Quentin Miller trying to write for him shit. You know what I mean? He was like, that shit was false. Like, you know what I mean? I asked him about Tory Lanez because Tory Lanez was in an article saying that he wrote for Meek or whatever. And he was like, what, a hook or something? You might have wrote a hook. He was like, ain't nobody write for me because I don't write my own shit. Whatever. So basically saying,
Wait, he doesn't write his own shit. What do you mean?
yeah, meaning he rap off at the top of the head. He don't really write. So, you know what I mean? I understood it.
All right, man. Well, shit. I'm looking forward to hearing it. Congrats on locking that in.
Thank you.
Definitely happy for you.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Meek Mill.